What's up guys, Jake Lowry here, and today we're going to use a bait that's actually banned in professional bass fishing. I'm not going to tell you just yet, but you probably already know what kind of bait it is. If you thought about it for a second, you could probably guess what kind of bait I'm going to be using today. But anyways, I'm fishing at a pond that's pretty close to my house here in town, so it should be pretty good. This pond is actually very, very pressured, and it's the middle of winter. Conditions are obviously not great. There's not a cloud in the sky. The sun's out. It's the coldest it's been in a while. Last week we kind of had a cold snap. It got warm again, it rained, and now it's kind of cold again. I'm pretty excited about using this bait today, guys, because I haven't used it, but people, when they do use it, tend to catch freaking giants. And I know for a fact there are giants in this pond. We're gonna figure it out how to fish it as we go today. Hopefully we can figure it out pretty quickly and we can end up catching some big fish. I got the baits in this bag that I picked up from Academy yesterday. I spent freaking $75 on 2 of these rigs. These things better work, otherwise they're just gonna be completely not worth the money. So the bait we're gonna be using today requires a bunch of swim baits, requires a bunch of jig heads. Sure, you can already guess it. It's the umbrella rig. So let's get this thing rigged up. We'll see if we could rig it up pretty quickly, and we're gonna catch some fish on it. The baits I picked out for this specific umbrella rig is a Yumbrella rig. I got some Kitech swim baits. I got a light color, and then I also got a dark color. The reason I chose these is because they're my favorite baits to use. The next thing I got are 2 packs of jig heads. I'm gonna need 5 of these, and so I ended up buying 6 just so I had 1 spare in case we lose them. Let's see if we can figure out how this thing freaking works. So this thing's pretty heavy duty. It has 5 blades on it and 5 spots where you can hang jig heads. I got a pretty large bait because I wanted to try like the actual size of it. I didn't want to use, you know, something that was kind of like half-ass. I know that Guggen Squad makes an umbrella rig, but I think it only has 3 spots for hooks. And that's kind of a half-ass umbrella rig in my opinion. I wanted to go all out today, see if this thing really freaking works. Fuck. No. Oh no, guys. That's 2 rods in the past 2 weeks. I freaking just snapped it. I closed it in my carter. No. Okay, it looks like I'll be able to use it today. It doesn't seem very weak, but that's really bad because the heavy baits, you know, you need this freaking stick to cast it, but who knows, we'll see. This is a heavy action rod. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break for the rest of the day, but dang, that's annoying. I also don't want to get fiberglass in my hand. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go with the darker swim baits because it's dark watercolor and I think they'll be able to see it a little better. And then we'll hang 1 white one off the end of it as kind of like an attractor. So let's get this rigged up and we'll get it tied on and we'll check it out. There it is, all rigged up. I got 5 hooks on this thing. In Texas, you're allowed 5 hooks, but in other states, you're not allowed 5 hooks. So I would be careful and like do your research before you go ahead and use this thing. All right, guys, I got the band lure rigged up on my heavy action rod that I just broke. I'm using an unideal reel for this, but I don't really have a better reel. It's a 7-to-1 dia to Tula. I have 50-pound braid on it to a 15-pound fluorocarbon leader. Let's take a first cast and see if this thing casts well. But before I do that, let's see the action of this thing in the water. The first time I've ever fished this, so we're gonna figure out how we're fishing it today. Okay guys, this thing is ridiculous. It literally looks like a whole ball of bait sitting in the water. I mean, this thing could not look any better. I'm gonna fix this swim bait right here because it looks like I hooked it a little too much. And then we're gonna cast it out. Let's make 1 cast with this kind of, you know, sketch reel. I'm gonna definitely pull up the brakes a little bit on this thing. All right guys, again, first cast with this kind of heavier bait than I'm used to throwing. So let's see it. Okay, this thing casted just fine. Made a giant splash in the water though, so it looks like I kind of have a knot in my braided line, but whatever, I'm just gonna fish with that today. If it comes back to bite me in the butt, it comes back to bite me in the butt. I've seen people catch their PBs in this exact position. Oh, that's interesting, guys. On the first cast, it looks like 2 of the swim baits kind of hooked each other, so we'll have to look out for that. I'm not too concerned about the conditions today. Reason being is I've seen people catch fish in these exact conditions. Clear skies, cold front, coldest it's been all year, with this exact rig, could potentially bring the Mondos out. So who knows, we'll see. This thing, again, isn't casting ideally, but it'll do the job. But yeah, so this bait has been like a huge topic of a lot of debates in professional bass fishing. I believe it's banned in at least a couple circuits. Reason being is it's so effective, and pretty much everyone in professional bass fishing would be using this bait if they had the opportunity to. I'm not a purist, guys. I'll fish whatever catches fish. And again, this is like the absolute complete polar opposite of how I would think you would normally fish in the winter. Typically, I'm going after more finesse style tactics. I'm throwing smaller bait. I'm throwing freaking jerk baits. I'm throwing turd rig. Definitely wouldn't think to throw something like this in the winter. Big fish come out this time of year though. They come out to play. So it could be a potential grind today, but we're gonna fish a couple hours. I'm also kind of capped on time today. Reason being is the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. I'm gonna watch the freaking Ravens destroy the Texans today. I'm a little bit of an oddity in Texas because I'm like the only one that wants to see the Ravens win. I'm from Maryland, guys, so I gotta root for the Ravens. I'm really liking this bank here, guys, too, because it's very, very rocky, and the bass could be hanging off this steep drop off. So hopefully that is the case, and we're gonna, you know, maybe let this thing sink a little bit before we start to reel it in. I might just be fishing with the splinter today. Should be fine. Oh, okay guys, I just got a bite. I'm getting into kind of the wind-blown cove in this pond, and that could be where these fish are, you know, kind of feeding right now. Oh, okay guys, I just watched a fish freaking follow this rig in. Okay guys, I'm not kidding you, it was a bite. He might have spooked. Dang it, guys. Uh-oh, guys. The amount of snags this thing gets is freaking annoying. All right, guys, I'm gonna do one of these. For those of you that have never seen this trick, sometimes it works. Sometimes you end up losing your rod, but I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. This rod's already broken. Uh-oh, guys, I put myself in a situation with this one. Can't believe I did that, guys. There it goes. Okay, guys, I got it. See how tangled I made this disaster. That's a good one, guys. All right, guys, we could talk about a little mess we just created here. This is hooked to my pants. Don't know how I did that. I had this snagged and I tried to do a trick. to unsnag it, and somehow ended up with this. I've been trying to untangle that thing for like probably the past 20 minutes. I got a little bit of line left on my reel, so I'm just gonna cut this freaking thing off. But this has been a complete disaster. Now I gotta get these out of my pants. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up the video using the umbrella rig. Apparently the lure is really, really good. I didn't catch anything today. The conditions seemed like they were good, but they actually turned out to be pretty bad. I just think there's so much pressure on this pond. Throwing a rig like that's like power fishing tactics is not gonna work. Really would be leaning more towards like a finesse tactic. So I haven't given up on that rig, but I'm gonna use it probably in a pond where I have better odds to catch fish, and we'll see if that thing does any better. Maybe we'll compare it to another lure while we're at it, but for now, I'm probably gonna put that thing away until the spring. Another thing, guys, is this is probably gonna be my last video for quite a while. I got about a month to travel, some for work, some for skiing. I won't be making any videos then, so you probably won't see me again until March. So if you guys like these videos and you want me to keep making them, please subscribe, please like these videos so you don't miss it when I come back in March and we're gonna freaking grind. We'll probably put out a video every week all the way up until the end of summer. The winter is tough for fishermen for sure, but as soon as it starts to get warmer, the fishing just gets better and better and better until it's real hot, and then it's a grind again. But you could catch fish in the heat a lot easier than catching fish in the winter. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you guys next time.